You guys, you might notice a bit of a different vibe today, and that's because we are kind of just hunkering down for the winter. Actually, I'll just film what I have going on behind me and show you because it's pretty crazy. Also, look how professional this setup is, you guys. But yeah, look outside. It is blistering outside. It is completely a mess out there. And so we're kind of just, taking time to reflect and be warm. And kind of just take time for ourselves. So you guys, listen, the world is falling apart as we know it. America is in complete chaos. It's descended to absolute mayhem. But not here on the Awkward Tension podcast, because all you have to worry about is me and the concerning things that I say and potentially offensive things that I might say. So, but I do also want to say, come on, I've never said anything that offensive besides for a couple of offhanded remarks now and then, and everyone's been there. Every celebrity has said something offensive once before, right? And so my thought process is, why not me too, because I get to be involved with all of that. So yes, my hair was cut. This is the first time I've talked about it openly on the podcast, and yeah, my hair was cut because of certain things. That's weird. I used to have a light that was right here, but it went away. Yeah, basically what happened. Oh, shoot, I forgot what I was talking about. This is not good podcasting. But yeah, so America is falling apart right now. So I kind of just wanted to, bring back the warm and cuddly vibes of America when it was good. Let me try to think about America when it was good. Coming up blank. Oh, shoot. Can't think of a single thing. Shoot. No, America is actually really good. I mean, I've talked about this before, but I mean, it's terrible, but it's it could be a lot worse. But that doesn't mean you should settle. And so, yeah, as you guys know, I'm from Minneapolis, and everything that's going on right now, it's kind of crazy, it's a bit dystopian, if you will. But there'll be changes. I'm not worried about it because what's happening is so insane that I know in time, in a couple of years, it'll get sorted out. I was thinking about this last night actually as I was falling asleep. I kind of like to think to myself, and sometimes I count sheep. Sometimes I do jumping jacks. Sometimes I ski, but my skis will get all twisted up. It's kind of a strange thing. But yeah, I was thinking about it last night, and I think that every single, person that we're talking about, I don't know if I can talk about it because maybe the YouTube algorithm is going to say that I can't, talk about it, but basically, when you want to drink something cold, you say, I'm going to have it on the rocks. And what are rocks in that context? Frozen water. And what is another? Okay, so ice. So that's when you ice skate, or if you drink water with ice, which you definitely should not do. It's very unhealthy. But yeah, so basically there's a lot of ice in Minnesota right now because it's very cold. And so I'm going to do this thing where you can't tell what I'm talking about for the algorithm. So last night I was in Minnesota, and I was drinking some cold water that had ice in it, and the ice suddenly gunned down an innocent civilian. No, but so basically what happened, yeah. So there was a essentially, I'm not going to talk about it, but there was a very tragic event that happened, um, and a person is. I'm not going to talk about this anymore. Let's talk about something else. I do miss Minnesota. It's freezing cold there, but it's also freezing cold here. And like whenever I walk in Boulder here, and it's cold, I always get like flashbacks to Minnesota, and I kind of like it because I don't know. I feel like when you're born somewhere, you always have a attraction, like a just this like primal attraction. What am I don't know. Like yeah, you just have this like you're drawn to the environment that you've spent the most time in, obviously. So like um yeah, I don't know. I kind of get excited when my face gets all cold and the wind is blowing and it's like snowy and stuff. That's exciting for me, but I think a lot of people, they might not like that, or they might, let's say if I was born in the frickin' Congo, um, a kind of humid, warm environment. Is it humid in the Congo? I think so. I'll have to go, but yeah, they probably would prefer that weather compared to this. I knew a Brazilian woman who just could not stand even 40 degrees. Just couldn't do it. Just left the country. Like she didn't know that it was going to get that cold. Just left. Um, Honestly, hats off to her though, because she didn't like it and she left, and that's what we call a doer in this society. A doer. That's a person that does stuff. Um, so yeah, and taking advice of a couple people that have told me to stick to topics on the podcast. I'm gonna try to do my best to stick to as many like similar topics as possible. So it's so beautiful outside though. Like come on, that's topic number one. I mean, look at that. It looks like freaking Narnia outside, and that's just really exciting. So yeah, I do have this pretty awesome lighting setup going on right now. I have two main lights, and then I also have a spotlight that should be shining like a orange dot right here to kind of add some diversity in color, but it's not. So we're gonna have to figure that out in post, I think probably. But yeah, um, and it's funny because I have a camera pointing at a bed with three lights shining at the bed, and it's like, what the heck is he gonna film in there? But it's just a podcast, of course, and yeah. So the topic that I'm gonna be talking with you guys today is everything warm and comforting, because, like I said, the world is falling apart. Um, and so we're kind of gonna try to bring it back to basics and just enjoy ourselves. Um, so yeah, let's do that. One more negative thing before we start on a positive, um, we're gonna do positivity only, but I just want to say one negative thing, which is that my Instagram has not been doing well recently. The past couple videos I've posted have just completely flopped, and it's a bit dis um what's the word? It's just a bit, eh, it's a bit unmotivating because listen, I still have motivation. I'm gonna do it, but sometimes I get embarrassed and stuff when I fail, and it's failing right now, kind of. But that's okay. Like I think I'll learn and adapt stuff and um, have more ideas, and then I think it's just one video, one or two videos that get people to like want us to follow. Um, that's all you need, And but I need to ask some other people that I know that like have more followers than me. How do they do it, and like what advice can they give me? Because Lord knows I need advice. I've been reading this book. Okay, so now let's do positivity only. I've been reading this great book. It's a bit greasy for some reason. Ugh. It's called The Greek Myths Gods, Monsters, Heroes, and the Origins of Storytelling. Now, that last part is very crucial for me. That's the reason I got the book, because I want to be a good storyteller and I'm not. So, how do you become a good storyteller? Step one, start a podcast. A low-rated podcast like this one. Step two, get a book. Get a book that literally tells you the stories, the original stories, like the stories from the beginning of the civilized world, the beginning of writing, kind of, not really, but like, So the first form of writing, I think, is called cuneiform, and that was in the Middle East somewhere, I think, and it was very beautiful, kind of indentations on stones. And then if we fast forward a bit, we get to be into the Greek era of things, and we get to kind of explore myths. And what you start to learn and realize is that everything that we have in our world today is based on, like, every story that I've ever read has been like, has had some elements relating to Greek myths and the origins of storytelling, because what they tell in these stories is like very interesting and classic tales. So because I want to be a good storyteller and a writer, right? So how do you do that? Is you read the OG books. Yeah, so in the Mediterranean, we kind of get to see this. So let me read you one of these tales. Let me try to find a good one, I guess. Further reading? No, I would really suggest reading this book, though. It is so interesting. It's so fun, and you get to see how, like, creative and similar these people were to us. And so smart, like, they're so insightful. So here, let's talk about Prometheus. Prometheus stole the ray, far-seeing, of unwearied fire, hid in the hollow fennel stalk, and Zeus, who thunders in the heavens, ate his heart, and raged within to see the ray of fire far-seeing amongst men. Okay, so what did I take from that tale in particular? A lot. Let me break it down for you. First of all, Greek myths are very larger than life. They like to do anthropomorphic, stuff. There's a lot of testicle eating, a lot of genitalia massacring, maybe is the proper term. A lot of slicing of the genitals. And this is all myth in Minecraft, though. Or that's what people say, but this is all a myth, right? None of this actually happened. Although I'm sure at some point somebody has been castrated. I'll have what they're having. But I love that book, and I haven't had a lot of time to read it recently because I've been so busy, you guys. Just so busy filming things, working, doing homework. But I'll be honest, I kind of clock out at like 6 p.m. After 6 p.m., I'm like, I'll like pretend to do some work so I feel good about myself, but in reality, it's pretty much all psych funniest moment compilations, and stuff. But Psych is a crazy good show, and you guys should definitely watch it. I'm so shocked that more people do not know. I'm so shocked that Psych is so just unknown. It's becoming more and more unknown as time progresses, but it's like one of the best shows. It's definitely like the best police humor-based show in the world. And I say that having seen literally thousands and thousands of television shows, especially based around police operations, Of course, I am actually a media production major, and so you can definitely take my word when I say that. I mean, the writing, like the writing, the joke writing and stuff is just, there's nothing else like it. And I quote Psych virtually every day, because they've just written such a fast, veritable cornucopia of high octane melodies. That was just a Psych quote. That I just quoted Psych. Um, but yeah, there's like so much material. Anyway, so that's something that's also kind of warm and cuddly. But let me tell you, what are my ins and outs for 2026, because that's kind of warm and optimistic. So, and I actually wrote them down, so I might as well just check in with them. Uh, while I do this, I want to ask you how many people are watching actually right now. Do does anyone watch past 2 minutes and 30 seconds? Because if you do, comment something obscure that I know you would only comment if you watched me say this. Comment something like something really kind of just funny, probably, and then maybe something a bit serious for duality. What was I doing? I'm gonna look for my ins and outs for 2026. So we're gonna do that here. We're scrolling down in my Google Doc and we're not finding it yet, which is a bit concerning because I'm pretty sure I wrote this down. Let's just scroll down even more. The inheritance, we got that. I think it's probably going to be around here somewhere. Now, my question to you is this entertaining radio? Because obviously, probably it's not. Wow, the snow is coming down. So nice. Very thick clumps of snow, if I were to describe it to you. They're approximately 3/4 of a golf ball size. They're not specifically spherical, but kind of all different shapes and sizes. But generally, but it's very like big clumps. So let's go ins maybe. Ins. No. New Year's something. New Year's goals. Here we are. Okay, here are my ins. Positivity, meditation daily. Now, I haven't been exactly on that. I've been on about probably 3 out of the 7 days a week. But I think, what I need to do is kind of just be more consistent with that. I used to be so consistent, like in every aspect of my life. I was very consistent, but then I think, what happened was I actually got more friends and like became less like, I think I was a bit OCD about how I lived, but then I kind of relaxed a bit. My shoulders got a little looser. It's nice. Okay, so ironic fits. That's a big one. That should be at the top, actually. That's what's super in during 2026. Irony is everything nowadays. I'm like building my whole life around irony and humor, and that's what I think that is. I just love irony. I think I'm gonna get an irony tattoo. It's not gonna say irony, but it's gonna be an ironic tattoo because it's a representation of how much I believe in this form of comedy and how far I can take it. For me, it's like a study. It's like I don't know. It's made right through Instagram and stuff and TikTok. The viewer is supposed to just be like, what, like, oh my God. But then as you start to get to know me, they start to understand that it's a joke. And then what happens is you get this really interesting, like parasocial relationship where people know that you're joking, and so you can kind of test the boundaries and develop a close-knit fan base. And so that's what I'm studying and thinking about, and I will, hopefully not hopefully I will, but it's just a matter of time, grow the socials and stuff. But sometimes I get discouraged because it's a risky business, and people from high school, I'm sure some of them have like sent those videos that I've made in group chats and whatever, and been like, holy shit, like what happened to James? I'm okay, you guys. Talking to strangers is another in, I think, because usually they're nicer than you think. Although, yesterday I almost got in a fight with a guy biking because I was like, I only had one hand on the handlebars and it was snowy, and so I wasn't very maneuverable. And I went left, and we were passing each other on this bridge, and I went left, and he tried to go left too. And like, yes, I get it. I disrupted the flow of like traffic because I'm supposed to go right. But like, bro, I was going left so early. Like, that's such a chill maneuver for you. Also, like, I'm one hand. Like, what do you want me to do? But he kept going left out of principle or some shit. And then I was like, oh, sorry. He didn't say shit. So then I stopped and I looked back. And he looked back and stopped. And then I like got off my bike, and then he kept going. And so, and obviously I wasn't going to do anything to him unless he did something to me first. And that's kind of like the traditional tale of treat others how you'd like to be treated. So universal energy, I can't remember what that was. I don't know. Greek myths is also in. Creating art, I think, is in. Honesty with yourself, you guys. You gotta be honest with yourself in this world. Nobody is honest anymore with themselves, myself included. I spent a lot of my time as a young boy lying to myself about certain things that I thought was going to help me, but in reality, it actually just hindered my growth as like as a talent, if you will, in whatever that means to you. So. No embarrassment. I think I meant to say embarrassment. No embarrassment is in. Not feeling embarrassed. I almost never feel embarrassed anymore for some reason. But it's interesting because now I'm in the position where, like, I see. Oh no, my camera's about to die. I'm in the position where I can see other people getting embarrassed in situations where I would have traditionally been embarrassed. But now I'm like super chill, don't care. But now I feel bad for them, because I understand. Britain is so in. I love England. I love everything about England. What the hell is this? You guys see this? England is just a great place to be. And British humor especially is just something that I don't want to forget about. Drinking water. Speaking of the devil, I need to drink some water. Choosing who you spend your time with. That's like the biggest one. That's up at the top for me this year because I have spent too much of the last couple of years like spending time around people that I don't like. And part of that was because, I entered new environments and I was trying to discover things. But, in reality, whoa, why is this so serious? No, we got to make this more fun. How do we make this more fun? Here's my outs. Pretending to work hard. Don't pretend to work hard, you guys. Pretend only when it benefits you because that is what life is all about. So let's try to make this more fun because that was getting a little too serious. I'm personally trying to revive clown comedy because of a couple of different things. One, just the realization that physical humor is totally dead now. Like, where did Mr. Bean go? Did you know that Rowan Atkinson, the man that plays Mr. Bean, has a super high IQ? I wonder what my high... Ooh, let me try that one again. Words. You know what else is out? Saying words after you mess up a sentence. Like, bro, just keep moving. You're fine. I actually hate that so much. I'm sorry. I know we're trying to be positive, but like, listen. if you're a person living in America or in the world and you mess up saying a word and you're like, you're like saying something and then you're like, oh, the apple, or you can't say apple, and then you're like, ugh, words. Boy, get the hell out of here, boy. Stop doing that. It like emphasizes your mistake even more, and it makes things weird. I'm starting to get those like spit things at the side of your mouth when you talk too much. So yeah, you guys stop doing that. That's a major out in today's society. It makes it more cringe and it makes it like just not good. I digress. So yeah, I'm so anxious about when this camera's gonna die. I just see a red light flashing at me. But keep watching, you guys, because I might say something interesting or funny. I'm in my movie making era. I've been writing a lot of films and shooting a lot of films. We just shot something. It's so funny, you guys. I'm probably gonna post it maybe on the, I don't know where I'll post it actually, but it's humorous for sure to say the least. And I think it's important to spread humor now more than ever. So that's the thing. So yeah, I forgot what I was talking about again, and that's the problem with having maybe dementia or early onset Alzheimer's is genuinely because, like, yeah, literally just forgot what I was saying. Like, I completely left my brain. It's probably not going to come back until after the camera turns off. But yeah, my apartment has been so freezing cold recently. And I did cave and turn on the hot air yesterday, but I think we can't do that anymore just for economic reasons and also for the environment because I do love and care about the environment a lot. Do you ever feel like you're changing the way that you talk or your voice because of people like when I was in high school or when I was in middle school, and high school, I would like kind of like try to talk lower and stuff because a lot of people called me gay and shit, and we got a lot of bullying and stuff. And so if you're watching this, hey, how you doing? You know who you are, and you're gonna regret it eventually. But essentially, what happened was I was, trying to discover myself, trying to discover who I am, and through that, I kind of just decided to talk lower. I also sucked in my stomach a lot and wore a lot of sweatshirts so people wouldn't see that I'm fat. But yeah, I think, but now, I hear my voice and it's like kind of high, and it would be nice if it was lower, but it's not. And I could get vocal like surgery to get my voice to sound lower, and that's actually probably something I'll put in my calendar to check out, but that's not really what you need in this society. Either I would say just lower your voice naturally through means of pretendation, or just talk in your normal voice. Especially in today's society, I feel like you can pretty much just be whoever you want and succeed. But yeah, in high school, I would kind of try to drop my voice down. I remember one time this guy, so there's three people, right? There was me in the middle, a guy in front of me, and a guy behind me. I didn't see the guy behind me. The guy in front of me was like, yo, what's up? And he went to like dap what I thought was me up. Unfortunately, it was his other friend. So you can imagine the awkwardness that ensued and the tension that ensued where when I would like put my hand up, I was like, yo, what's up? And then he walked straight past me and dapped the other guy up behind him. And then they were like, oh, or the guy behind him was like, oh, you thought that was for you? Fuck you. Like, what the heck? I don't know. I don't know what possessed children to be so mean. But I also, since I was bullied, I also bullied another kid named something really funny that I'm not going to say. And I'm sorry for saying that. It was a hilarious name. It was ridiculous. And I'm so sorry again for even saying this right now. But Oh my God, like, oh my God, he was just asking for it. I'm like, why did your parents name you this? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so I would kind of bully him a bit. I mean, it was like half fun, half bullying. Like I would just take it too far, and kind of, yeah, I would take it too far. So, but that's okay. I think, it's not okay, obviously, but I'm sure he's fine, hopefully, and you know, I kind of stopped in my later years, but the damage may have been done. I don't know though. It's like you never know how much impact you have on the people the peers in your elementary school. For me, like a lot of the people that bullied me had like a big impact. So I don't know. Maybe I created a serial killer, or maybe I created the next Barack Obama or Donald J. Trump or Greta Thunberg. And so now you guys know it. You guys have no idea what type of person I was bullying. It could have been a woman, a man, a child. It doesn't, you don't know. And that's the beauty of that, is because you never really know. You never know. Until, of course, the fact, that the realization, I'm just afraid that he's going to come and find me, And then it's like, oh my God. Sorry. I'm like, would I even apologize? I don't know. Should I apologize? Do I even have anything to say? I think it depends on how he turned out. Like, if he turned out fine, then if anything, he should be thanking me for bullying him because I probably helped him, And that's likely what it is. I mean, that's likely how it turned out. He likely did succeed greatly in life, and I'm excited. I'm looking forward to the day where we reconnect, because I'm excited for whatever kind of gifts that he would end up providing me in thanks. If he turned out to, be a struggling person, then it would be a bit more awkward, I think. I would probably say, I don't know what I would say. Maybe I would give him a 5 or something. But in general, I think I would probably just see myself out and, hope for the best for him. But I always wonder, what it would be like to sit in one of those priest-like confessional chambers and just, pretend to be pretend to be a person, because pretend to be a priest, because all these people are going to come in and sit like next to you and, say their deepest, darkest secrets. And, I would just love to be a fly on the wall for that. And maybe I'll just put a microphone in one of them and just kind of listen, because I think it's important to know that people are worse than you. And so the only way that you can figure that out is by hearing the terrible things that people have done. And so that's actually a great idea for a video, which is in the confessional box. I saw Marty Supreme, and they had a scene in the confessional box, right? I think so. Confession box? I don't know what it's called. Forgive me, because I was not raised in a religious capacity, and I thank God for that every day. But, yeah, I think it's probably a crime, I think, actually. Well, it's a crime to impersonate a priest. And so, well, actually, let's look that up. Is it a crime to impersonate a priest?
Do you want me to use ChatGPT?
Well, we can just. So my phone always asks me if it's if it should use ChatGPT, and I say yes, but then it doesn't work. So it's like, okay, what are you doing? So yeah, yes, impersonating a priest can be a crime, especially if done to defraud, gain unlawful benefit, or cause harm, leading to charges like fraud, theft, or false impersonation. Now, my question to you is it illegal to sit in a confessional box while not being a priest? And let's find that out. Sitting in a confessional box while not being a priest is generally not a criminal offense. So write that down, you guys, because that's big. So, but being it is a serious violation of Catholic Church law and property, such an action is considered a violation of the sacred space, potentially disrupting a sacrament, and can be seen as trespassing on private church property. So you might end up getting arrested based on a formality, much like Al Pacino, or no, who is Al Pacino?
Alfredo James Pacino is an American actor.
Okay, first of all, how you gonna be freaking born named Alfredo? Come on, bruh. That's ridiculous. Second of all, his middle name is James, and so I do have to shout out to him. But third of all, why did he get the name Al then? Like, where did that come from? But what was the guy? It was who's the famous mobster who got caught on tax evasion?
Do you want me to use ChatGPT?
That's ridiculous. Every time it asks me, do you want to use freaking ChatGPT? Oh my gosh. Al Capone. Al Capone. So Al Capone got caught because of tax evasion, even though he was a prolific gang leader, murderer. Also kind of had a cute face. Not a cute face, but just like a baby face. Okay, you guys, the camera's back online. It may or may not have ran out of battery, but it was a 36-minute podcast, and so I think we're going to end it there. This is the light that I was referring to that we didn't have on for some reason. I think it adds kind of like a natural kind of depth to the process that I'm appreciating at this moment. So I think we're going to go and have a snow day and kind of just, relax, kind of just enjoy the the Narnialific times that we're in. And, it's very actually artistic because the snow is kind of starting to slow down. So is the podcast because we're kind of going to wrap it up now. And so, yeah, I think the next podcast is going to be a tour of my room. We're going to go through each and every item, tell a story, tell an anecdote, go through, we're not going to look under the bed, though, because that would be embarrassing. So let's kind of just talk later, and I'll see you guys next week. Enjoy yourselves. Don't look at the news too much, and I'll see you later.